station. You can watch us too. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. And today we get to hear about a new program that AMR here at least in Central Mississippi is starting to help those in need. Joining us today is Ryan Wilson. He's the operations manager with AMR in Central Mississippi. And here called Nurse Navigation, which seems really cool. So welcome, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so is this new for Central Mississippi, or would this be new for Mississippi in general, or how is this program being released?
Right. So we're launching this program in Central Mississippi, in Hinds County in particular, but this will be a first of its kind program in the entire state. So we're very excited. So
first little pilot program, if works out well, I'm sure it will spread across. Okay, nurse navigation. I'll have to admit, when I think of paramedics or AMR or ambulances and all the things, nurses necessarily aren't the first thing that comes to mind, but it makes good sense how you could partner. How does all this work?
Yeah, I think that's kind of where the idea got started right there. Is when you think of paramedics, you think of emergencies, and you think of wrecks and heart attacks and strokes
all the
and
bad
things like that. Exactly. But what we have found over time is that people who call 911 aren't always having that type of emergency. Oh. Sometimes they have things like earaches and toothaches and fevers and things that we would consider to be kind of that low acuity, right? And so historically, our only option is to treat those like an emergency call, send an ambulance.
Because you can't turn them away.
Exactly.
Correct? Yeah.
Exactly. So we want to come to you, we want to help you, but we didn't have a lot of options. And so this program is really designed to give people options, right, that may not require an ambulance and a trip to the emergency department, kind of going through all that.
Those who call the dispatchers, who when they receive a call from 911, are they trained, or I'm sure they are, but in recognizing like what's the emergency versus maybe what could be handled at a local clinic or by a telehealth type health professional? Yeah.
So when you call 911, there's actually a lot going on in the background, and the person you're talking to, for one, they are a trained emergency medical dispatcher. That's a certification that they maintain. And if you've ever had to call 911, hopefully not, but if you have, they're going to ask you kind of a series of questions about what's going on. And it's not meant to aggravate you or keep you on the phone, but what they're actually doing is following a protocol that sort of walks them through what questions to ask. And so depending on how you answer it, it's kind of that decision tree to help us figure out at the end what's going on with you, what kind of resources do you need, and how many resources do you need, right? And so we're going to use that same process, but when we get down to the end, if you have been identified as a predetermined complaint, again, like those toothaches, earaches, medication refill, things like that.
Or maybe just like a higher fever, but not emergency fever, that kind of thing.
That's exactly right. So once they get down to that, what they're going to do is they're going to give you the option to talk to a nurse. And that's one key characteristic of this is this is optional. We're not forcing anybody into one.
So you would still go get them if they demanded, or not demanded, but requested an ambulance.
Absolutely. But what we found is, when you see that of people calling for these types of reasons, well, obviously the first question is well, why? Well, what we've really found is a lot of these people, they're either uninsured or underinsured. They don't have reliable transportation, or a lot of times they just don't know how to navigate what can be a complicated healthcare system, and they don't really know where the best place to go to get their needs met. And so that's where we want to step in and say, hey, if you want to, you can talk to a nurse. They can spend more time, get a better understanding of what your needs are, and then match you with local resources like a clinic, your primary care physician, FQHC, type of facility, and really help be that bridge of what you need with the most appropriate provider of that healthcare.
I would see this also would help with overcrowding ERs.
Yeah, for sure.
Because where else would you can't treat on I'm sure you treat on the ambulance, but you're taking them somewhere. Y'all don't just sit there and treat and then go home, right? Like you have to take them to a hospital. Is that right? Or
yes.
Somewhere?
Yeah, so that's the typical process is for us to transport you. Our only option is to transport you to an emergency department.
Yeah.
Now, there's certainly discussions about, can that be changed and modified? But for now, yeah, even if you wanted to go somewhere else, we couldn't do that.
You would almost love to see in the future, right? Like thinking like through, like if there was, you had your nurse navigation and then you had like a mobile clinic versus an ambulance.
Yeah, I think that's really the logical next step, and how we're looking at this program is
I
really
started it.
Yeah,
I did. No, I'm kidding.
that's it. We'll give you the credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is just really building the foundation of saying, historically for the past, we'll just call it 40 years, EMS and 911 has really only worked one way. Mm-hmm. And it worked then, and that was great. But when we really look at the overall healthcare environment now, it's different. And so we are looking at it to say, well, what do we need to change to best meet the needs of our population?
And individuals can be told time and time again, or PSAs can be put out to, X, Y, and Z deserves an emergency room visit, X, Y, and Z doesn't. But at the end of the day, there is just a level of health literacy that some is just, and it may be their only option also. And so I think this is phenomenal to be able to kind of bridge those gaps and reach the need. So how will you have like nurses on 12-hour shifts? Will you have, one nurse can't handle 24 hours a day, and that's the uniqueness of a 911 center, is that they're there whenever you need them. So how will this work for the nurse or nurses?
Yeah, so, I can't take all the credit. So this is a program we've been working on for a while, but it's actually a program that we already have in place as a company in about 30 different communities across the country. This actually started in 2018. And so we're kind of bringing it into central Mississippi. The nurses that you would talk to, they are licensed nurses. They actually all work out of, I guess you call it an office in Texas.
Okay.
And we're actually, the program's become so successful, they're actually opening up a second center for the nurses in Phoenix. So you'll be connected to them. They're available, 24/7. And they're all licensed to operate in Mississippi.
I guess that would show, there was one question, but I figured that would be not loopholes, but ties that y'all would tie up would be licensure in Mississippi. But then also, I guess that goes to show that there is a significant number of calls, but it's not inundated enough for you to have your own nurse on staff. So while this is something you want to help, it's not something that you're getting like every other call is in this way. It's just a small number that can be managed from a more centralized place.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so certainly we want to use, resources efficiently as possible.
I think that's it.
And when we look at sort of the usage, one, we go into this knowing there's kind of a natural maturation that requires just time to kind of build and grow. When we look at our overall data, we believe about 20% of all of our calls could meet the criteria for this. Obviously, we don't expect every caller like this to use it, but certainly it should grow over time.
And it goes to show it's not just a Mississippi wrinkle in the way that people use 911. It's kind of it happens everywhere, and this is just a way to help them not solve the problem, but give different options for the caller. I think it's really cool. So when does this roll out? When do we start getting this option?
Yeah, so we actually
Hinds County
go live with it next week. Next Tuesday is where we're going to kind of flip the switch.
So everybody call 911 when you get a stuffy nest. No, that is not it.
But yeah, that's when we're going to turn it on, and again, we're kind of just starting the process and going through it. I hope no one has to call 911, but if you do and you find yourself where you're being asked if you want to talk to the nurse, we're just kind of working through it, and we hope for it to be as seamless and easy as possible.
What clinics will they connect to? Obviously here in the central Mississippi area, would it be like associated with a hospital that would be associated with an emergency room, or would it be more, because you have all kinds of clinics, walk-in type clinics.
Yeah, so I think that's one of the unique parts of this program is when it first started, it was kind of limited to, we got to partner up with this entity or that entity. And so what it does now is all these nurses you talk to, they've been given sort of what are all the local resources. So we've spent a lot of time leading up to this collecting the information of what resources are available in our community. Mm-hmm. So we have reached out to, say, Jackson Hines Comprehensive, and, basically if it's a walk-in, if they take walk-in, then we can help direct you there.
That's awesome, Ryan. Well, I appreciate your time here on Good Things. If people want more information on that or just learn more about AMR, where can they do that?
Yeah, so you can go to amr.net, or you can always reach out to us at 601-713-4340.
All righty. You guys stick with us. We got